In a drunken haze, I find myself staring into my reflection in the glass window of the back door. My empty, silent garden lies beyond it, barely visible at night, with the kitchen lights behind me. I stand staring at it for only a few minutes. Next to me, bottles and cans have filled up the counter to my right, empty dishes on the counter to my left. Above the dishes is a small shelf on which sat a smooth grey rock. I don't know what kind, but it has my name in white pen on it and a note pinned beneath it. I know the note says, "We missed you." Well, you will miss me, I think. Chapter 1. Mirror. This morning I'd reached a low point. Waking alone once again, still slightly drunk from the day before, I began to realize that, growing imperceptibly more prominent every day for weeks, I had now reached the point of no return. Whatever sickness was inside me had now overcome me, and all that remained was to keep feeding it, to unravel simultaneously and drown in cheap thrills. I woke today with the word mirror stuck in my mind. I had no idea why. I repeated it over and over in my mind, stumbling over it whenever I tried to think of anything else, reminded of it when I went anywhere. I saw my ghostly outline in the bedroom window, almost eliminated by the early sunshine, and thought, mirror. I brushed my teeth and witnessed my slowly eroding self. I saw this reflected in glass picture frames, pots and pans, and the always present black screen of my phone every time I thought the word mirror. Quickly, it became meaningless. It was a strange effect. I started to say it out loud, and the word lost its original shape to me, its sense of reality. It no longer represented a thing, but was now a sound without a link to this world. I knew what it was, but somehow the word no longer represented the thing, and had come free of its moorings, much like me at present, to become an unknown entity, something no longer in my control. I learned that this is called semantic satiation, the concept of saying a word so many times that it loses meaning. At a loss for anything better to do, I kept repeating it, even as I started the day with another beer. I stared at myself in the dark bottle and repeated, mirror, 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 saying the words backwards as well as forwards, saying them while making breakfast, saying them unconsciously and without thought, finding the word intruding and unwelcome on my mind. I said it while staring into a mirror. I watched my lips move, saw my jagged teeth beneath, making the shape of the word, the shape of something that I no longer had any control of. Mirror, mirror, mirror. Over and over. I started to wonder, looking into my own eyes, what else I could apply this idea to. I had nothing else to do with my day, and after 2 beers on a short winter day, I only had a few more hours until dark. I knew I would begin to feel uncomfortable again when night fell. Another day gone, another that sank beneath the waves. When night falls, it hits that you wasted another one. I stared at the picture of me in the bathroom mirror. I stared at myself and kept staring for 2 or 3 minutes. In that time I searched every pore on my face, every follicle and flaw. My eyes clashed with their identical selves in sparking realization of how foolish this was, and yet I continued. I became bored, and soon my mind started to wander. My face contained no new information, and so it became old, overlaid with a new reality of my own creation. I imagined it as different, as younger or older, as feminine or clean-shaven. I started to forget what I looked like, lost in my own image. I became obsessed, soon realizing that my obsession, my focus on my image, had started to block out other things. The bath behind me, the tiles, the shower curtain, all seemed darker, fainter somehow, as if greying out or losing colour, desaturating before my eyes and fading from existence. Soon the whole world started to close in, everything fading from existence except my face, my now unknown face. The person before me no longer seemed real, and the world behind me was gone. Just darkness and a face. No sound, deathly quiet, no light. In the nothingness I felt I was no longer alone, nor did I feel I was still in my bathroom. I had somehow eroded the fabric of reality through repetition, grinding my will against a perceived truth that became untrue just by saying its name. There was nothing once the meaning had gone. In that darkness, in that strange moment, I heard the first word from them, mocking me. I close my eyes. I lie down on the ground and keep them closed. When I open them, there is nothing but the normal cold floor of the bathroom, the weak light through the frosted glass, and no reflection of me to see. That night I drink myself into oblivion, as usual. I can't stop repeating words. All I can do is repeat as many as possible. Chapter 2. I haven't got a reason not to anymore. I still can't stop repeating words over and over. The trick is to just keep repeating as many as possible, to keep repeating them. Repeat, 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 repeat. I start to wonder, as the next morning comes and drowns in alcohol, what happened? I wonder what it would feel like to try again, to see if I just hallucinated, or if there really was something there, beyond the veil of reality. Sinister thoughts, but most insidious of all was one. Mocking implies intelligence. You cannot mock or laugh or hate without understanding those things have emotional depth, without intelligence. Mocking implies intelligence. I keep thinking about it, over and over and over and over and over and over. I have to try again. I have to see what this is. I have to know what I forced to happen. In my current state, with a drink in my hand. I haven't got a reason not to anymore. I haven't for a long time. I stare into the TV and keep it off. There is a man sitting there, on the other side of the blackness, just a shadow in this version of the reflection. I can see very few features this time, but I continue to stare. He doesn't move, and nor do I. I say some words over and over again, just to see what that does. Nothing. I say the word that started this all. Mirror. Nothing changes, but I feel imperceptibly different. As if I have just set the password to gain entry to a door that must be opened 1,000 times. I have taken a step in the right direction, but I don't know how. I feel the pressure inside me, as if there is an invisible guiding hand on my soul. I feel afraid, and at the same time, I feel slightly good. Better than I have in a long time. Purposeful. I say it again and again. A silent room and the shadow of a man in the reflection of the TV chanting mirror, mirror, mirror. I feel as if I'm sprinting through a corridor of closed doors, smashing them down, breaking through the bulkheads of reality and towards something I can't know or name. The darkness begins to close in. All sensations become numb. All sound eliminated. All light gone. Just myself, now a black outline against blackness. I feel the presence of others behind me, slipping through the space in reality that I've worn down. I feel them speak but hear little. I sense them moving but see nothing. In the darkness I hear only one thing that I don't understand before fear overcomes me. My phone rings and I collapse to the ground, overwhelmed by what I think I've seen, afraid of what I might have done, but clutching in my heart a glorious shard of joy. My reality is not what I once thought. There is maybe a way into something different, and with nothing left to live for, I realize that I must continue. I get to my feet and stare into the black mirror of the TV. Nothing unusual, nothing different. The lounge contains all of normality, and I sense nothing. I know nothing is there. I think upon the words that came through to me, and I cannot understand them. I have a missed call on my phone, but I know who it's from. When the follow-up text message comes through, "Please call me back," I know that I have to leave them behind, and I won't call, just as I haven't since their wedding. Chapter 3, Finale. I can't feel the presence of anything in this house. I'm not sure I'm really here anymore. I am shattered, and just pieces of a man floating in stale brown liquid. Pieces. I start drinking as usual in the morning. I think upon my last chances to walk away from this descending madness, this great adventure into the mind or a new reality, or whatever this may be. The unknown, the great beyond, heaven or hell or something beyond the comprehension of mortal man. I know there is a reality beyond what the human senses can process. I know that our reality, our individual reality, is that which we perceive and not what exists outside of our perception. I know reality, for me now, is that which I can understand amongst my new interpretation of the world. I may go truly mad, and this adventure may simply be the final unraveling of my identity into wild speculation, imagination, loneliness. It may be, but it may not be. I must continue. I drink throughout the day, all day, working up the courage to provoke whatever lies beyond the locked doors of our world. I know I have the keys. I know I can get so far. I don't understand what was said to me, but I know that it was said. Something spoke to me in the darkness. I choose, or at least I think I choose, to walk into the darkness to meet it. To know for sure. To find meaning in discovery. Salvage personal worth in one last grand adventure into the unknown. Evening comes more quickly than anticipated. Time flies when you're drinking. In a drunken haze, I find myself staring into my reflection in the glass window of the back door. My empty, silent garden lies beyond it, barely visible at night, with the kitchen lights behind me. I stand staring at it for only a few minutes. Next to me, bottles and cans have filled up the counter to my right, empty dishes on the counter to my left. Above the dishes is a small shelf on which sat a smooth grey rock. I don't know what kind, but it has my name in white pen on it and a note pinned beneath it. I know the note says, "We missed you." Well, you will miss me, I think. I continue staring into the glass, darkness beyond, turning it into a simple mirror. There is no clear image of myself, only indistinct features, and my inebriation sullies it all. Now is the time. A final pang of fear. Resolution. I begin to repeat the word, the key. Mirror, 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 mirror. It loses meaning quickly now, soon becoming an indistinct noise. I know what the word used to mean, but the sound is unusual, unreal. I know it has begun, but I continue to say the word over and over. Mirror, 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 mirror. Nothing happens, and doubt fills my mind. Another swig of something strong, and I keep chanting, mirror. All becomes still around me. Not just the absence of others, the loneliness I have felt for so long, but a stillness that can only be experienced. I know all is still, that somehow the motes of dust in the room around me aren't moving. The world is silent and still. My heart beats a cacophonous rhythm in my chest. I know I'm here, but somehow nothing else is. That all changes when the words filter through again.
Here only the dawn stays here perchance.
I'm horrified again, but I have no desire to preserve any part of myself. I continue to chant, and soon the words filter through again. Not heard, but somehow experienced. A physical sensation follows. almost a cold chill, but in every atom of my existence, shuddering in response to words I can't yet even begin to comprehend. I feel the strange shadow of this new thing pass through me and disrupt every fibre of myself. It comes through again. I'm chanting a word that makes no sense anymore. It's simply an amorphous sound with no syllables or letters or meaning. A noise that's out of my control and that I can't stop making. A mantra of sorts, but I've lost control of it. As my language is passing into meaningless nothing, I start to sense that it might be possible to interpret the language I'm experiencing. A new transition into the other side. I know that I have passed through new doors, taken steps into a darkness I can't understand, and it is finally speaking back to me. A transition has begun that I cannot stop. I feel real fear at this point. I know I am a drunk. I know that I have little left to do in this life. Nothing I want to achieve, no relationships I want to maintain. But there is also the glimmer of my existence left, that which must sustain itself at all costs. The ancient motor of self-preservation. Exist at all costs. Survive and breed and multiply and diversify and exist at all costs. An infinite cycle in which I am a biological slave for the rest of my stunted existence. A final barrier that must be overcome. The truth of existence. To exist just to continue to exist. This is what I choose to reject. I see the smooth rock by the windowsill again. We missed you. I know you did, and in petulant rage I reject your sentiments. I reject your needs. I loosen my weakening grip on reality and take up the stone in my hands. I know the words now that are being repeated to me. I have crossed over into the new world, hand in hand. Language is the raft I use to traverse this wild sea. The rock is cold in my hands. Its existence reminds me of new words, words that might disrupt the mantra and take me back into the wrong reality. I know what I must do. Smash the glass. Put the pieces in your eyes. The sensation comes through more powerfully, more true, more agonizing than ever. I smash the glass. I put the pieces in my eyes. Agony. Nothing but the sound of the mantra continuing. A groan. A meaningless howling nothing that now calls forth the true nature of what lies beyond the mirror itself. The creatures in the shadow of our reality, always yearning towards the light, the space I have now created in my mind, my reality, to allow them in. It starts slowly at first, a groaning beyond the now empty space in the glass door. The wind blows through onto my face, onto the blood pouring from my eyes. I hear the groaning sound continue without taking a breath. It becomes a synthetic yawning, a chorus of non-sounds, voices that do not belong in our definition of voices. They no longer call to me. My eyes are bleeding and I am in agony. I am transfixed by a new language that I feel wash over and through me, disrupting my mantra, my chant, my incantation. Whatever I've done to bring forth the non-reality before me, open the final door. The new words are not comprehensible. What they said to me was a joke, a trick. I have been fooled. I know it now with total certainty, as I start to feel the new ghosts of form move in through the window and settle in the room around me. I sense their mockery, their disdain for me, and the pleasure of their manipulation well worked. Easily achieved. I can't reach for my drink. I am disoriented, and now truly alone. I have broken the rules of our reality somehow, and I will be punished for it. But more than that, I know that so will everyone else. I am not blind, Tiresias. I am a fool, blinded and in pain, as I suppose I have been for a long time. More and more beings pass through the door. Their glittering glass shards of laughter and mockery rain down on me as I struggle just to manage the pain in my eyes. Here they come. I think no great adventure, no last chance at meaning. You have invited in something that will not stop and that cannot be trusted. Yes, you have, they say. I am alone again.
You let us in.
I believe we have found a way to stop them. You must find the... I repeat, you must find the tunnels. Find the tunnels. Find the